it's not quite as windy as usual, but it's very overcast and spitting, so it's been a very strange summer. I keep saying summer, it's a very strange winter. Usually this is not the way it is. Should be lots of sun, but no. I've got to go to the post office to pick up some stuff. Now the weird thing is, it's actually at the main post office in the city, whereas the other item I bought is up at Westcourt, and Westcourt's way down up towards Murphy's, and the other one's right in the centre of the city. So I don't know why they've split the post offices. It doesn't make any sense. I'd much rather them be sent to the one in the city, because it's more convenient for me. There's no doubt about it. I never go up to Westcourt really, so try to work that out. Yeah, my life must be getting pretty boring. I'm getting excited about my new cistern. That's not a good sign for the activity in my life. I might actually be able to squeeze a trip in. I'm thinking about possibly going down to Brisbane for a few days prior to having some medical crap done. So should be able to swing that. I've just got in contact with my drinking buddy down there. He's still fine. He's now doing the rounds down in Brisbane, going to the bars. Well, he's going to one bar. There's still restrictions there. They don't actually serve customers at the bar in Brisbane. You have to be seated at a table, so that's the major restriction. And one of the bars he goes to only has a bar. There's no tables apparently, so they are not open. So up here, that restriction doesn't seem to apply. So, which is great, but typical that there's no sort of consistency on that. But again, I'm not complaining, because I am in Cairns and I can go and have a Guinness. Today they're open, whereas other weeks they were closed on Monday, and they're going to be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not sure why they keep changing the days. It's a little confusing, but as long as you keep looking online, you can find out what they're up to. But yeah, I'm just not sure why they've continually they're sticking to their formula of only 5 days a week as opposed to the normal 7. But I'm not quite sure why they are. I might have to, if the manager's around, might ask them. It's a bit strange. But anyway, they're open today. You think I know my way around Cairns by now, but I didn't. I actually went down the wrong way. I went down towards Woolworths to the right there. But I don't come to this post office anymore because they've switched to Westcourt. So it was very strange, but it looks like I've got my boxer shorts, so that's good. Looking forward to that, to see what these defects are. But yeah, it really feels like a wintry day. It's not really a great day for a Guinness, but that's okay. I'll force one down myself anyway. But I'll first go to Woolworths, just get a bit of shopping done there. And yeah, I don't normally come, even though it's not a big place, I don't come down this way much. So that's the other pub where I have the Union Jack. It's okay. I prefer PJ's, but I've got a discount card for them at the Union Jack. I just never drink there. They've got a beer garden area, which I suppose is alright. So one of these days I should do it. But I prefer to go down somewhere like the pier. That's quite nice. Although I'm not totally thrilled in the music, because it's catering to a younger audience, which is fair enough. Got to go where the money is. Yeah, a lot of grey sky today. This is the pattern. You'll get some superb days. Had about, say, 4 or 5 in a row, so can't complain. But it'll be followed by a few days like this. And I've probably got to be out and about tomorrow, so I might need my big umbrella, maybe. We'll see. And I've got to pick up the case from Westcourt, because that's where that is. Through the process of elimination, I'll work that out. Got 2 lots of red lights. I love that. So where do you go? Here we go. Now virtually every walkway in Cairns is being worked on at the moment, as you can see. Building work everywhere, creating employment, which we no doubt need big time. But, Oh dear. Yeah, look at those skies. This is winter? Come on. Like I say, it's good we've got a lousy winter because we haven't got the tourists this year, so fair enough. I don't know how long this elastic band's going to last on my GoPro, holding the case together. Not long, I'd imagine. Yeah, I spent the whole weekend indoors. It's not good. And that was actually the better weather. That's when I should have got out. I was contemplating going out for a drink yesterday, but I just didn't feel like it at the end. Now, I normally come to Woolworths from the other direction, so it's a little different. Slight amount of variety in my mundane life. Well, that was different to the first time I went back. Very, very noisy for a Monday. There were a few people there. Mind you, I've just realised that only half of the bar has stools. They've actually put them all around one side of the bar, the opposite side of where I usually sit, so not that that's a big deal. It doesn't worry me sitting on the other side, but I guess it's all part of the social distancing thing, although it's a bit strange because it means that you're actually pushed together more. So I don't see the logic in it, but this whole thing I don't see much logic in. So it's fairly consistent. You can see by the brightness of the traffic lights, it's pretty dull at the moment. It's just about 10 minutes to 5, and yeah, it feels wintry. It really does. It took a long time to get served too. It took a hell of a lot. I reckon 10 to 15 minutes to get my drink. It looked like they had a hen's night or something happening in the corner. These women was talking really loudly, and there was a group next to me pretty raucous as well, so it's quite noisy, which I suppose is okay considering the whole place around here is Sleepy Hollow, so you know, it's nice to have a bit of action, I guess. Nice to see there's some life in the city, so that wasn't. He took my card and the discount card, and didn't return it to me. He didn't give me the option. It was the first time I went, where they said, you know, you're going to have just one, or you're going to have more, and we put a tab on. He didn't give me that option. He just assumed it was going to be a tab. Well, you can't assume that. And that's the beauty of cash. You just basically pay as you drink. But you know, look, the Guinness went down well. There's nothing wrong with the Guinness, but it just took a long time to get it. But they had a few people there, so I suppose you've got to cut them a bit of slack. And it was a young Irish guy serving me. And it's a bit hard sometimes with the accent, especially with all the ambient sound happening too. It would be really hard at night when they used to have the party thing go around. I mean, they can't really do more than they're doing now. That would basically be, I imagine they have to knock back a fair few people at night because they're restricted to the number of people they can take indoors. It must be sort of killing the owners of the place, because they know they can make more money potentially, but they have to knock people back. So that would be difficult. Oh God, I've got to go. It's so complicated walking around here at the moment. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not sure where this is weird. I don't know what they've done here. This is really strange. I'm going to walk around here, I think. I don't think you can get through this way. This is bizarre what they've done here. Oh boy. It's all over the place with these roadworks happening. Every time I come down here, it's different. More and more stuff is being done, so... Well, you can walk through there. I don't know how. It's not exactly clear how you're supposed to get through from one. No, it's a red bit, but I don't feel like going across the pedestrian now. It's just changed, so it was a good move. Oh no, this blocked off. I'm not supposed to be here. I didn't see the sign saying you couldn't come here, so I don't know. Ridiculous. A lot of ad hocery here. Oh, the other thing is that people weren't putting in their addresses, they just signing their name, putting their names down and their contact numbers. So that should be sufficient anyway. I mean, as I say, they're using your plastic anyway. They won't allow you to use cash. So they've got a paper trail, so what's the big deal? So, God. It's a nightmare walking around here at the moment. It's crazy. There's so much work happening with the pedestrian areas. I've got to say, I feel better after the pint though. It is definite elixir. But I was going to go and watch the football yesterday, but we got thumped anyway. So, was it yesterday? No, actually it was Saturday we played. We got thumped though. It was a very late start, about 4:45. And again, the football just doesn't feel the same without the crowds, you know. The atmosphere is really important, I think. So, and you know, Richmond supporters are pretty fanatical, so it does take away from the event, not having that crowd sound. I will say one of the things they did do today at PJ's, they didn't do the previous time, was they gave me a receipt for the Guinness with the card, so that was good. So that was an improvement on the previous occasion. I actually also contacted my friend in Saigon yesterday, and he says he's getting a little over all the bar girl stuff. He's just doing it once a week now. He still goes to a number 5 bar. He says there's a warm-up bar, and then he heads off to other venues, but he's getting a bit sick of it all, which that's the way I was feeling when I left, actually. I can only take it in small doses. I just cannot understand how people can go to those bars every single night of the week, and that's pretty well the case with some of the hardcore ones at number 5. So, I mean, Heinz must be wrapped, but you know, Heinz has got to be there to make money, so he's got an excuse, but they don't. So, yeah, I think Johan's dead right on that, and it doesn't surprise me. It's a novelty factor, and it does wear off after, well, I mean, I was there for 3 months, so the novelty certainly wore off. I think it's also important if you're over in a foreign country like that, to have something else to occupy your time. Johan's got his business, he's got his games development stuff happening. He's, you know, developing war games, so that obviously keeps him busy. And also learning the language, at least he was. I think he gave up on learning Vietnamese, because where he went at the uni, it was very old school type learning, rote learning, very, you know, much treating you like a little kid. So he's getting a bit of jack of that. He probably should get himself a private tutor. That would be better for him. But I might advise him on that, because you know, you can obviously get them dirt cheap in Vietnam. There'd be many who are keen to do it, especially if you know, if it can be a quid pro quo situation where they learn English as well. That can work really well. So I think basically with those sorts of languages, you've got to learn the tones. If you don't do that, you're stuffed. And I think that's why some formal education is required. I don't know if you have to actually go into a classroom and do it, but maybe at least do it online. You've got to learn those codes. But I think you need to actually be there and have someone help you with those, and also give you the confidence, because I don't think I've got a great ear for languages. I think it's really important if you want to learn a language. You do need to be able to pick up on those nuances, those subtleties, and I'm not very good at that, I'd have to admit. So yeah, I have to really work at it. And you know, Johan was having a go at the way I was saying just thank you, you know, come on, you know. Everybody seemed to understand it, but it obviously wasn't correct. But he wouldn't give me the exact reason why. Someone had told him something in these classes, and something about the intonations. He was acting like a Vietnamese. I'll get that from Vietnamese, you know. you sort of think you've got it down pat. Not just Vietnamese, mind you, that's Thais as well, the tonal languages. You think you've got it down pat, and someone will just undermine your confidence like that. And it's really difficult. You have to really work hard at pushing through. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.